Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast. I'm your host, Dave Bertino. This is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic, Robinson.
Oh, I didn't even know we started yet. What's going on, man?
Yeah, of course we started.
You skipped the countdown this time.
Countdown? What countdown?
You skipped the countdown.
What countdown? Oh, the countdown how we start every show behind the scenes.
Yes. I didn't even know we started that. Yeah.
Well, we are now live, according to you, on a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Drizzly Saturday afternoon.
Drizzly.
Yeah.
Drizzly Saturday afternoon.
What's going on, man?
Well, I have some big news.
Let me hear it.
I am now
a proud father
of an NES Classic.
This is where we put the applause in. Congratulations.
The crowd goes wild.
Congratulations. But you know what? What's more impressive? That you got it for the same price I told you to get it for 3 months ago. You said that was outrageous.
It was. I did proclaim that it was too high.
And then the price tripled in price. It went up to $400.
All right, I almost had it at 110, and then some guy sold it, and then it went up to 200 something because they're like, no more. Yeah.
As high as $4 in
yes.
some parts of the United States.
Yes. Now, I can tell you with some certainty they are not selling.
Well,
nobody's going to pay that price.
We don't know that. I have a friend. So I told my boy, who wanted one too. He's just like, I was like, hey, Dave just got one for pretty cheap, and he was pretty much resolute in his, I'm just gonna have to pay top dollar because I really want it.
That's crazy. I mean, no one should pay that amount of money.
Listen, that's what the market says it is. It's worth.
That's what the market thinks it's worth.
It's worth $400. You know why? Because there's only 2 million out in the world.
Yeah, I know.
But you know what? Again, I give you kudos. I'm impressed that you got it for that price at this point in time, because it's now worth $300-$400 right now.
It is. Well, let me go ahead and tell the story. So, I was looking on OfferUp, the lovely OfferUp.com app, and everyone's selling the Nintendo Classic, right? And I just kept hitting people up again and again and again and again. Whatever their price was, I would offer 100, 120 or whatever it is. And, see if they would bite or come somewhere near that. And one guy did. He was selling it for $200, and he came down to $150. I said, 140, and we have a deal. And he was like, all right. And he's like, when can you meet up tomorrow? He was real adamant on meeting that day.
He really wanted to get rid of it.
He did really want to get rid of it. But I was a little bit suspect. I'm like, tomorrow's no good. I can do Friday maybe. And he's like, no, I really got to do it tomorrow. I'm like, sorry, I can't do it. Let me know if you're free another day. And I left it at that. And then he came back and said, all right, look, I'll come to you. And
you're really lucky. He said that. He could have said no. I get it for $300 somewhere else.
Yeah, and I would have been perfectly fine. I'm not going to break my back trying to get this. I'm doing as much as I can to get it at a reasonable price.
You're doing as much as you can to get it without doing as much as you can to get it. Because if you really wanted it, you would have been like, tomorrow, fine, whatever.
Well, here's the thing, though, too. If I also said, all right, $200, and I'm setting a precedent that the system is now worth $200. It's not. It's worth $60. That's what Nintendo put it out
for. Actually, it's worth $120 now, because that's how much you put up for it.
That is ultimately what I paid $120 for it.
Yeah.
But he was like, all right, I'll come down to you. I said, oh, this is great. So we set up a time. He came down to where I was at the time, and we settled on $140, but then I'm like, did we say $140? And he was like, yeah. He's like, I really don't want to pay $140.
Dave learning how to haggle.
That's right. So we got it down to $120. I said, all right, fine. I'm happy paying double. So I have in my possession now the NES Classic.
Which you didn't know worked until I came and gave you a suggestion to test it.
I had it hooked up to the audio system, then that to the TV.
Dave
doesn't work.
Dave had it hooked up to his 4K TV that's on the wall, and he had it hooked up to his 4K TV and his splitter.
It was going through the audio system, but it apparently doesn't work when you run it through this particular audio system. So I was like, oh, maybe.
As we sat Indian style to play,
well, yeah,
close to your 4K TV, we may have brain damage sitting close to a 4K TV.
I can't help that I have a beautiful TV.
I told you that this system is meant to be played on your computer monitor.
Yeah, no, it is. It is definitely. It's definitely for. Definitely.
So we switched to inputs, and finally it worked. And you now are a proud daddy of NES Classic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of you.
It feels good.
I'm proud of you. I am proud of you. You finally took my advice.
I'm going to treat my baby well.
You will.
Trust me, I wasn't not looking for one. I wasn't looking as hard as I should.
Well, you're being stubborn because Dave. If anybody knows Dave, you're listening to this. You know Dave is stubborn. He was like, I could get this for $69.99.
Right. I thought I could get it for under $100, and that was my thing. That was my level.
And he was wrong.
I was very wrong.
He could get this for double.
I was very wrong.
So, you know what I got? Nothing as exclusive as NES Classic.
I guess we're already getting into the pickups.
We're getting into pickups.
All right.
I picked up a bunch of empty boxes from Goodwill and Salvation Army.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I actually bought the games by themselves online, eBay, Lukey Games, which shout out to Lukey. They actually gave us a shout out on Instagram. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Love that site. That's how I got my Earthbound for free and my Chrono Trigger for free. Mm-hmm. My points, use my points on that. So that's pretty much. If you go to Goodwill, let me just give you a pro tip. When you go to Goodwill, you go to Salvation Army, check the box to make sure it's not empty.
You know, sometimes you may get no games, sometimes you may get 2 games.
Well, if you listen to last week's show, you may get 3 games per box.
Yeah, we have had some fortunes.
But you got to check to make sure there's a game in it, because if there's no game, they will throw out the box. And I told them, hey, you got all these boxes. If you're going to throw it out, I'll take it for free. And I took them, and I went on eBay, and I could get the games for like $2, and you put them together. And that's how you put together complete in-box packages. Mm-hmm. So I got that, but also picked up Injustice 2. I don't know if we want to get into what we're playing, but that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Injustice 2. Yeah.
Injustice 2. I got to say, it's a great game. I love this game. I recommend it to Dave. You have to pick this game up. Don't die on me, Dave. I know you were feeling under the weather a little bit. Don't die on me. I know. Injustice 2. Pick it up. I pre-ordered it, so I got my 20% off from Amazon, but I would say pick it up. Mm-hmm. It's worth the $60. Mm-hmm.
And a little bit of a teaser. That is our review roundup this week.
Well, you know what? Let's get into it. Review roundup.
Top of the show.
Injustice 2. Awesome. It has pretty much the highest Metacritic score. You know what? I hate, as a side note, I hate that Metacritic breaks up the Metacritic scores.
Well, this is a new thing, though, right?
Well, it's been this way for a while. I've just used the highest Metacritic score.
Sure.
But they've break it up from PC, PS4, Xbox One. If it came out on iOS, they break it up to iOS.
Which is weird.
Which is a little weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. So pretty much the highest score Injustice 2 got was 88 on Xbox One. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna break it up like that, because that to me doesn't make any sense.
I don't think we need to, unless one of the ports is specifically bad, and usually you'll see that
PC.
Between console and PC.
The PC port would be bad. Yeah, I know. But yeah, how's that Batman
you
going?
Roll out that one example again and again. You can roll out the one example.
I have several examples.
Again.
I have several examples. Another. But I'm just saying.
Name me another.
I'm just saying Batman.
Name me another.
Every other game that came out this year. How about that?
There you go. No examples.
How about those?
Batman. That's all you got is Batman.
How about those games?
Which came out like a year and a half ago.
How about those examples?
That port that came out.
How's that Shadow of Mordor playing?
Fantastic, actually.
Really? Well, now it is finally. Yeah,
it's always
finally. Yeah, finally.
You just need to have a good enough system to play the game.
No, you just need to have a console.
That's the whole thing about it.
You need a console, and then you'll be able to play the game.
You can't play in 4K on a console. Can't play at 60 frames per second on a console.
Well, if you have a PS4 Pro, you can.
Doesn't have 4K textures.
It'll up-res it.
It'll upscale.
It'll upscale. You know what? Right now, what's the most powerful console right there in the market right now? Right now, what's the most powerful console? You got like half a second to answer.
I'm gonna go with the Sega CD. I'm gonna go with the Sega CD.
You know what?
Am I right?
Those full motion graphics, man.
Yeah, right. No other system could do that. Can do that.
I know. PS4 Pro. So the PS4 is the best system right now. Best console you can get. Most powerful console you can get right now, right? I know. Thank you. Thumbs up.
I think we're getting a little bit off topic. We were doing a review roundup of Injustice 2.
All right, Injustice 2. Great game. I got to say, it's the only game I've really been playing. I got to say, it's a great game. I love this game. I barely played Injustice 1. I have it for the Vita. I got it for the Vita when it came out.
Is Injustice 1 solid? Solid fighter?
It is a solid fighter. It came with the story mode. I mean, a better story mode than anything that Street Fighter came out with, and I'm a big Street Fighter fan.
Sure. Street Fighter is awesome. 5 was a disaster.
Well, the launch of 5 was a disaster. It still doesn't have arcade mode.
No.
As far as I know, but the game is pretty much solid.
Yeah, sure. The game is most definitely solid, but it was like half a game.
I think people give it a pass because it's Street Fighter. If it was any other game, if it was like Killer Instinct or anything, people would crucify it. Not to say that it hasn't, been criticized negatively, but I think it would have been severely just dragged through the mud if it was anybody else.
Well, sure.
If you like Mortal Kombat. The last Mortal Kombat that came out like 2-3 years ago.
It's essentially the same game engine. I think it is the same.
It is the same game engine. I gotta say the mechanics are pretty. You have to do the tutorial. I mean, you could button mash in this game, but at some point you need to learn the basic moves that every character has.
Sure. Yeah. So, you gotta run the fundamentals.
So let's just run through Metacritic score of 88.
Solid.
So IGN gave it a 90, GameSpot gave it a 90, Polygon gave it a 90, Game Informer gave it a 90. A lot of 90s, by the way. Yahoo, didn't know reviewed games, gave it a 90.
Of course they did.
US Gamer gave it a 90. Xbox Achievements gave it an 85. The Jimquisition gave it an 85, which is surprising because every game to him is like a 60 or below.
I know. He's very harsh.
He is a very harsh critic. And he believes it, too. He doesn't do that for ratings. And then Level Up, give it an 83. And really
no review from Time Magazine.
No Time Magazine review that I can find. At least not yet. They only review major releases.
Oh, I see.
I guess Injustice 2 wasn't a major release to them.
No,
but you know what?
They're DC. They're Marvel fans.
But you know what? Street Fighter comes out. Street Fighter: The Last Challengers, the new challengers, the final challengers, the only challengers. The challengers, the rated G challengers, comes out next week. So maybe they'll review that for the Switch.
Oh, maybe.
I gotta say I love the game. It picks off for where Injustice 1 story mode left off, where Lois Lane. Minor spoilers if you haven't played Injustice 1. Lois Lane was killed by the Joker. Superman snapped, killed the Joker. Now he thinks all bad guys should die, because his mind has been corrupted by Wonder Woman, because that is his new love interest, his new girl, his new boo. Boo.
Oh, boo.
His new boo. I said boo. I wasn't trying to scare you. I'm not a ghost. That's how we say it in Brooklyn. You live in Brooklyn. You don't even know how they say it in Brooklyn.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And Batman must stop him.
So here's an interesting question. He kills the Joker. Is the Joker a playable character in Injustice 2?
The Joker is a playable character in Injustice 2 because when you play the story mode, minor spoilers, when Scarecrow, because Harley Quinn is now good. She is now good. She's turned to the good side now that Joker's dead. Spoilers for every other Batman game in the Arkham universe. Joker's dead. Scarecrow gas you, and you hallucinate about the Joker, and now you have to fight the Joker. So it is a new age type of Joker with the weird haircut, and he has the Superman essentially put his hand through his stomach. Of how he killed him. So you still have that that bloody scar in the middle of the Joker's stomach, because you're playing sort of the ghost Joker. That I gotta say, people weren't really too thrilled about. You didn't really get good reviews.
That whole plot line or whatever?
No. People love the story. Well, I don't say love, but people really like the story. Just the Joker, people weren't so. The new age Joker, people. Look, Heath Ledger's Joker was, pretty much a hard act to follow.
Yeah. You're not gonna top that.
So this wasn't like a normal Joker. This was like a sort of like a crazy hippie style type of Joker.
Okay.
That was killed, and people weren't too keen on him.
Okay.
I didn't really care, to be honest. You know what? He has to. They all have to change. Superman's suit looks stupid.
Right.
Because he had that headgear. He had that that headband that goes that outlines his face. I think he looked stupid personally. I didn't like that. I didn't like his outfit. But it is what it is.
Does it ultimately detract from the game? No.
No.
I mean, there's 40 other some odd characters in the game. Like, you can find someone. You can find someone to play with.
So basically, if you play story mode, you're playing, as Batman, because pretty much the Justice League has been broken up, and you pick a side: Superman, Batman. Kill bad guys, don't kill bad guys.
Feels very like Infinity War. From
Civil
Marvel.
War.
Yeah, it feels like a Civil War.
Civil War on a much darker side, because they actually, the Joker's dead.
Right, people die.
People actually die, but pretty much you pick a side. You play as Batman and people who are on Batman's side when you play the story arc. And, Superman is in prison because of Injustice 1. And who's the main bad guy? Who's the big bad guy in Superman, the Superman comics?
Lex?
No, not Lex. Brainiac.
Oh, Brainiac.
Brainiac comes to Earth to, destroy the Earth, and Batman lets Superman out because the Earth is about to be destroyed.
Sure.
And, after you deal with that, you go back to the Civil War part. So there's 51 fights that you have to go through to actually beat the game. There are 76 in total because after you sort of go through the what's his name, Brainiac stage, you go back to the Civil War stage. And you pick Batman or Superman. So after
I see.
After you pick one, that's 51 fights. You can go back and pick the other one.
Right, branching story paths.
Yeah. And,
okay.
And then there's 76 fights in total till you get the alternate ending, which I went back and did. And I got to say, the Superman ending, bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No spoilers there.
No spoilers there. Superman is crazy.
Okay. All right.
He's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Interesting. I'm excited.
I would say listen. This is how we should rate games from going forward, because
how crazy is Superman in this game?
Yes.
Superman is not in every game. We can't use him as a barometer.
Actually, you know what the funny thing is? Superman would make a better bad guy than a good guy, because Superman is a good guy. He has to hold back, but then you ask yourself, why are you holding back? Right? Superman is a bad guy. He's so much powerful than Batman. Batman has to overcome that huge obstacle that's impossible of overcoming. Right? And that makes for a much more, tantalizing story to tell, right? Because in all story, if the good guy was more powerful than the bad guy, then there would be no story.
Right. There needs to be that build up, right? Here's your ultimate foe. Here's your training montage to build up to it. It's the Rocky story, right?
It is the Rocky story,
right? And then Rocky,
which we got
overcomes.
Which is a new movie out about the original Rocky who inspired the movie for Sylvester Stallone. I would say we're both Marvel heads, but I think we spent a lot of time on the show talking about Superman and Batman.
We certainly did.
We dedicated the show to the movie.
We did. Well, I mean, we both enjoyed it more than most people did.
We did.
We'll be honest and candid about that.
One day, well, I own the uncut
edition, the uncut director edition.
Yeah. You got to see it because it makes the movie make more sense.
It's a little bit more cohesive, apparently, but yeah.
Well, just as a side note, I think it's official. The Rock will play Black Adam in the next Superman, and Black Adam was sort of the anti-hero. He was the bad guy for the Shazam comic. They sort of scrapped the Shazam movie, and Black Adam will now be the bad guy in Superman 2.
I will say this: anything with The Rock in it, I will see.
I would say this: spoilers. If you've already seen Batman v Superman, Superman's alive. Somehow, I don't know how he's going to be alive, but he's alive. If there's a Superman 2, he must be alive, right?
Yep.
So, he does die in Batman Superman. Spoilers, we haven't seen that movie. It's like 4 hours long. It came out like in 2015, right?
Yeah, it did come out at least a year and a half.
16.
I think it's fine. I don't think I'm going to be butthurt about having a movie that's not so great spoiled.
It was.
I think if people haven't seen it yet, they're not going to see it.
I
And
thought
they
it.
were okay.
I thought it was. I didn't say.
We did.
I would
We
say
thought it was- we
not
thought it was
so
pretty
great.
good.
I thought it was pretty good.
But I'm just saying, to spoil any movie, that's the one to spoil.
All right. Well, it's spoiled. Superman dies, but he's not really dead because there's
he's
Superman
never
2. There's a Superman 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what are you playing? You tell me what you picked up, but what are you playing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. As we always try to start the show, but we never start the show that way. What are you playing, Dave?
I am playing Geometry Wars 3.
I have not played Geometry Wars at all until today when we played co-op.
Yeah.
And that game is freaking like all over the place.
It is bananas. Yes. It is bananas. So, Geometry Wars is very interesting how it started, because it started off as a secret in Project Gotham Racing, and then got a fully fledged game.
What game? What system did that come out for?
Project Gotham Racing, I want to say on the original Xbox, I think.
Okay.
I believe so. And then they made a full-fledged game of it, which you could get to download on launch day of the 360. Then they made Geometry Wars 2, and then this new one is Geometry Wars 3, which has 3D environments, which is bananas.
Okay.
It's a twin-stick shooter. You're inside these levels. The levels are now, some of them are 3D in shape, which is pretty awesome. There's boss battles in there now. It's solid. I picked it up at a good price. They had it at Target pretty cheap. So if anybody's looking for a good, quick pickup, I recommend.
Awesome.
Highly.
I mean, look, I played it for the first time, and you know what? It was crazy. I was like, this game is hard. It's like Resogun in a circle.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And Resogun is hard.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best games you can pick up for the PS4. All right, that's awesome.
Yeah, not much else besides that. It has been a busy week. Spoilers.
Well, what would you do this week then if you haven't been playing games?
Work.
Well, me too. Life has gotten to the way of two people who are GMGs, and if you don't know what that is, hashtag GMG, grown man gamer. Thank you.
I'm dying over here.
Well,
I die a little bit inside every time you say that.
He does spit up in his mouth every time I say it.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you know what? We're grown men gamers. There we go. Ooh, yeah.
Anyway, Macho Man.
I'm just saying, it's a great hashtag. Listen, we're gonna get Dave to wear the shirt.
Hashtag snap into that hashtag.
We're gonna get Dave to wear the shirt. GMG.
And
Mike.
You have to make a shirt.
I will make the shirt. I will. Well, you know what?
You have to pay for the shirt.
You will make the logo, but I'll pay for the shirt.
I don't know if I want to put that effort into it.
Mike, listen, the mysterious Mike said he would wear it with you, so you won't be the only one.
He's gonna be on a solo venture. Let me tell you.
No, because Dave will wear the shirt. Because Dave.
All right, look, fans. If anyone has an opinion about hashtag GMG, about grown men gamers, please let us know on the social media.
No.
Thoughts, yay or nay?
No.
Thoughts,
No.
yay or nay?
Tell Dave he should wear it. Hashtag Dave GMG. That's what we're gonna start. That's gonna be a thing. I'm telling you. We're gonna do a thing.
All right.
So what else did you do this week?
So I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2 this week.
About time.
With the lady.
About time.
It just came out.
It's still about time. You should have saw
It came out last Friday.
You should have saw it last Friday.
Well, I'm sorry. I was busy.
You saw Logan last Friday.
I saw Logan like 2 weeks ago. Have you seen Logan yet?
I will when it comes on HBO.
Oh, yeah. You don't give me about time, and you haven't seen a Marvel movie that's been out since like February.
Well, you know what? I still haven't seen Suicide Squad, and it's been out since August.
Some things are best left unseen. Let me tell you.
Well, how did you like it?
I loved it. Guardians 2 is great. Kurt Russell gave a outstanding performance.
You liked it? Okay. You know that there's rumors, because I know you said you didn't know why Stallone was really in it. We talked about this before we started recording.
I mean, I kind of understand why the character was in it. I thought he was an odd addition.
Well, they're thinking about doing a spin-off with just the Ravagers, and maybe like a prequel with like a small Star-Lord as a kid. Mm-hmm. You know, and Stallone, like, Stallone would be in it, and Yondu would be in it, and stuff like that. So, don't know how true that is, or how far that'll make it.
Right.
But I thought Stallone was a good choice to be in it.
Eh,
It wasn't a starring role. It was
could've
more of a cameo. He had like 5 minutes
It was
on screen.
100%. You could have put anybody in that role though.
I know, but you know what? Stallone, he did good. He did good in it.
In his like 5 lines of dialogue.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure. I love the whole Yondu subplot. That made the movie for me, like 100%, and how they kind of resolved all that. No spoilers on how that all went down, but it's a very nice piece of Marvel cinematic.
No spoilers.
History.
No spoilers. Even though I like the way Robert Downey Jr. came in the movie in the middle of the movie.
Dude, that totally didn't happen, or did it?
I don't know. You have to watch the movie entirely.
But yeah, no.
Well,
I like it.
let me ask you a
Soundtrack was
question.
on
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
While you were watching it with your lady, was she texting during the movie?
No, she was very much engaged, much like I was.
She was very much. Now, if she was texting, would you have sued her?
What? I'd probably just be like, "What are you doing? We're watching a movie."
You sure? You know what? That's all the rage. Everyone sues everybody.
Really? Explain.
Did you hear about the guy who took a date to see Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I guess his date, not his girlfriend, his date was texting during the movie, and then he's actually suing her.
Oh my god.
For his money back.
Really?
Yes. You know what? As a grown man gamer, as a kid at heart who loves these things, who loves Marvel movies and DC movies secretly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Don't be texting. Don't be disrespecting.
Well, I agree. I agree with you. Don't go suing somebody.
Well,
over
he
it.
wants his money back.
He wants the 1535 for the
Well, it
movie
was
or whatever it is.
$17.98. He wanted to sort of.
Oh,
He was IMAX. He saw it at
$17.98.
IMAX.
Ah, I see.
That's crazy. So I mean, I work in a legal field. This could be it all depends on the judge, because this is like a lawsuit that's minor lawsuit. He wants like $20.
It is quote unquote a frivolous lawsuit.
It is. He wants like $20. So I don't know. I mean, it depends on the judge. The judge could throw it out, or a judge can make an example of her and say, you know what, you just wasted his time. He did pay for it.
And then we now have precedent for unruly behavior in a movie theater.
Yeah. So I don't know. It all depends. It all depends. There's no law that says you have to watch the movie as you when you pay for the ticket and go for it. Well, she didn't even pay for the ticket.
Well, it's true, but there are most definitely laws in place that allow businesses to say if you're causing a disruption in the theater, they have the right to kick you out.
Well, I think the only disruption she was causing was to him.
Well, there you go. That's enough. That's enough. You're disrupting the one person. Right.
Well, apparently he asked for his money back, and she said no. This is a date, and he was just like, "Yo, a date consists of two people, actually paying attention to what they're doing."
This is true.
So if you ask me my opinion, she should give him back his money. You know what? If we're going to date, and you're not engaged, you know what? You should give him out my money.
Wow.
I'm all for it.
You're on that side of the coin.
I'm on that. You know what?
Okay.
You know what? We ain't punks here at Rated G. We pick sides, okay? We pick sides.
All right.
I'm picking the side of the guy who's actually paying for everything.
Fair enough.
I ain't no punk. I'll pick a side. I want my money back. Listen, you know what? I've been quick story. I was on a date, and she had picked the first date we went on. She had picked some horrible
horror movie, right?
Horror movie, like some Exorcist
I remember
type
you
of
telling
movie.
me
I forgot which movie it was. It was that bad. I forgot which movie it was.
Uh-huh.
So I picked the next movie, and it was like John Carter. So it tells you how long ago this was.
John Carter from Mars?
John Carter from Mars.
Oh, I know that movie.
I thought this was like the Terminator. It was John Carter.
Right.
I thought this was like Terminator
Come
4.
with me.
I thought it was like Terminator 4. I was like, oh, they went to Mars. Okay, that's John Carter, right? That was his name, right? John Carter.
Was.
Yeah.
It was.
So
Very
I
much.
didn't know what it was. All right. I was like, oh, okay. This is
The trailer looked cool. Yeah.
the trailer looked cool or whatever. It was like 4 hours long. This movie was a long movie. And not even halfway through the movie, just like an hour in the movie, she's like twisting and turning. Oh, I can't believe you got me to see this movie. And I'm like, well, you know what? We saw a horrible movie on you last week.
Yeah.
All right. I paid $19 for these tickets. Well, I'm gonna see this movie to the end. Which I've seen the movie 3 times, like on HBO. Great HBO movie. Wouldn't recommend paying $19 to see this in theaters.
Yeah,
and it was
it didn't do too well.
It was a Disney movie too.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
high budget. It was the Waterworld of our time. Basically, that's basically what it was.
Oh boy,
So,
not a very glowing review.
Waterworld was okay when it came out.
It's all right. It's all right. It eventually made a profit, apparently. I think, in the end.
Yeah. So, I got to say, I've had dates like this, and I would say, you know what, give me my money back.
Interesting.
Well, you're settled in with your girlfriend, so you can't say that. So you know what? I speak you can speak vicariously through me. Give the man back his money.
You know what? I don't fault you for having that opinion and saying, we had a real bum time and whatever else. I just chalk it out. Bum date. You obviously don't have the chemistry. You're obviously not going to be seeing each other again. I highly doubt a man who's going to ask for his money back from a movie that his date was uninterested in. I highly doubt they're going to have a second date. So go for it, man. Get back the money.
Well, you know what? Well, it all depends on that judge. I hope there's updates on this story.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when we come back, we'll get into there's a lot of news that happened this week.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into all the news from last week, and we get no convo of the week this week because we had a lot of news, and it may sort of spill over into that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we're back. So let's get into the news this week. Now, we actually talked about this a few episodes ago. Like, I got to say, 10, 12 episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
About what Sega IPs we would love to see be resurrected from the dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they got a ton of good stuff that they can and should bring back, I think.
Phantasy Star?
Golden Axe?
The last Phantasy Star game we saw was, I think, on the GameCube, right? Yeah, Phantasy Star. Yeah,
I think it also came on the Xbox.
I don't know if it came on the Xbox. I know it was on the GameCube.
Yeah, the Phantasy Star Online
because
Online 2.
Because it had that.
I had two of them.
Because it had that huge keyboard with the handles on the side of it.
Oh God, they
controller.
did. Yeah.
That was horrible. That's a collector's item now. So, but
sure it is because nobody bought it.
No one bought it. Well, the Phantasy Star fans bought it.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't use the controller part, just the keyboard to talk to people.
Well, sure, of course.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that.
So recently, Sega has pretty much said that they're planning to revive major IPs and give attention and detail, that AAA attention to detail to these games. We're already going to see it with Sonic. Because we have two new Sonic games coming out. We have a 2D Sonic game,
Hopefully.
Mania. Well, the trailers look awesome for both Sonic games.
They do. I mean, we played Sonic Mania, and it was good.
Yeah, and what was the other Sonic? What's the other Sonic that's coming out?
Not Fire and Ice, is it?
No. That was the...
Sonic Unleashed?
No. It wasn't Sonic... Look it up. What's the new Sonic game that's coming out?
It reminds me of... it's
a 3D Sonic game.
Communist Russia.
It does.
It has those posters like it's Communist Russia.
Well, it's because you have a giant Robotnik that's destroying the city.
I'm taking a look right now. Sonic Forces.
That you know what? Sonic Forces. So my question is to Sega would be, why didn't you should have did this 10 years ago. You should have, pretty much buckled down and
well, they did though. So think about it. You remember when?
Well, Sonic Unleashed was a
no. I want to take
horrible
this back.
game.
I want to take this back even further. I want to take this back to the early 2000s when the Dreamcast failed and folded. Right. What happened is Sonic transitioned over to just being a game creator and publisher, or really just putting out their own games.
You mean Sega, not Sonic.
Sega, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, Sega. And Microsoft said, hey, Sega, why don't you put your games out on our system? And they did. And they made a very lackluster Toe Jam and Earl. They made a very lackluster Panzer Dragoon.
You don't like that Panzer Dragoon?
It was okay.
Microsoft should have just bought them like they were thinking about.
They didn't end up doing anything good with that partnership. The only good thing they did with that partnership was Jet Set Radio Future. That game was fantastic. The other ones were like, they were okay. And then they obviously tried again with Sonic to try and bring him back, and they've had a string of bad to mediocre games that came out. So, it's not for their lack of trying. But I would say now, if Sega says they're going to bring back new IP,
they're synonymous. Sonic and Sega.
They definitely go hand in hand. If they're gonna bring back major IPs again, like by all means do it. And to your point, make them high quality AAA titles. And I think they'll sell.
Well, they have 1,000 IPs that they haven't been using, and I say that loosely. Obviously, it's not 1,000, but they have a lot of good IPs that they need to bring back. That first of all, they're making a profit. Like they had the Dreamcast, they weren't breaking a profit. As soon as they stopped with the hardware business and focused on software, they started breaking a profit. They need to just put all their energy. Don't. I'm not saying blast us with like 1,000 different games a year, but they need to come out, put the hard work into doing quality titles for their IPs. Yeah. And don't put them out every year. Don't go to Ubisoft route and put in a Sonic game every year, because then it's not going to suck.
Exactly.
Make me miss Sonic, right? There's not a new Super Mario game every year.
No.
Right? So, just they need to do this. It's about time they're doing this. So, and again, we haven't played Sonic Forces. The trailer for Sonic Forces looks good, but we've played Sonic Mania, and I really like Sonic Mania.
Sonic Mania is solid, yeah.
Yeah. So, that brings me back to even Nintendo. It's not really a news story that I posted in the show notes, but just off the cuff, there's a rumor that there's going to be 2 new Metroid games.
One can only hope.
They're a Metroid Prime and then a 2D traditional Metroid game, which would probably be download only.
Right. You would figure maybe it would be directly to the 3DS, or maybe they'll port it to the Switch too. That could be great.
Well, remember, I know that the 3DS or the new 2DS or whatever S is out XL, that they want to support. Nintendo has 2 sets of studios that work for the console games and studios that work for their handheld games. Now these studios, you would think, will all work on the Switch, because the Switch is both, right? And there are rumored that some games will only work in portable mode and not console mode. Right.
Yeah. No, we mentioned that a couple episodes ago. I think that was kind of going to be a thing.
So I can totally see like a portable Metroid game that will come out on a 3DS/2DS and the Switch, right? That will only work in portable mode. I probably would just buy the 3DS version, right?
And then
a Metroid Prime, game come out on the Switch.
You think they're gonna?
It wouldn't come out at the same time. No.
Well, no. But I was gonna say, do you think they're gonna announce something at E3 about this? I know it's a rumor coming around and whatnot.
No, and we'll have our E3 predictions the week before E3. But I tell you what, getting to our next story, and this is why I don't think this would be an E3 thing, because Nintendo already had like a little mini direct where they announced ARM's global test fire punch beta. It's coming out. I think it's out like...
That's a handful right there.
And I think it's coming out like twice. It's coming out in March 26th and then sometime in June before the game... Because the game comes out right after E3.
Wait, this is for ARMS or for Splatoon?
For ARMS.
Oh. Well, the March one already passed then.
No. It's coming out May 26th.
Oh, you said March.
Oh, sorry. The beta is coming out May 26th.
Okay.
And then I think like a week after in June.
Oh, so we're getting a beta like this coming week.
Yes. That they get the little test fire. Also, we have our first footage of the Splatoon 2 story mode.
All right, the single player.
The single player mode, which looks pretty awesome. It looks cool. I didn't really read the details. I actually saw it when I looked at it when I was at work. And actually want to stay spoiler free. I know it's kind of hard when we do a podcast to talk about it. I'd rather talk about it when the actual game comes out and we actually played it.
So. Oh, wait a minute. You want to be spoiler free?
Yeah.
You want to be spoiler free?
I do. You know why? 'Cause I like
Mr. I don't care. Spoil it. It's fine. I don't care. The man who dropped so many spoilers on the show. Now I'm going to call you out right now. You want to stay spoiler free.
I want to stay spoiler free on this.
No.
Because I care about this game.
No.
I like Splatoon 2. We both like the Splatoon test fire.
Yes, Splatoon test fire is fine and all. This is not the sentiment you have been touting on the show for the last year.
Spoil everything.
Exactly. That's fine.
Except for Splatoon 2.
You heard it here. There's a moratorium on Splatoon 2.
Yes, there is.
All right.
So, and I tell you, I think they got this out because this direct, honestly, was not needed. We didn't need this many direct. They did this so they can make way so E3 can be all about Mario. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we're going to get any real, like...
They got to have more than Mario. I'm sorry. They can't just be like, you have Link in the beginning of the year and Mario later on in the year. I need more Nintendo. I need more. I need the Metroid. I need the Kirby. I need the Pokemon.
Listen,
I need something.
We already know that there's that Metroid sort of is being rumored reworking on, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. So you get your Mario fill now. You already have your Zelda or Link fill right now. Mm-hmm. They need something for next year. You keep forgetting about next year.
They're
Metroid,
just like Sega, though. They're swimming in IPs.
Metroid is next year.
Yeah, but tease it now.
So what?
Give me something now.
So what? Kid Icarus should be their major game that they spoil next year?
Kid Icarus come out this year, and then Metroid can come out next year. But I need a little teaser trailer. I need a little something.
You're spoiled. You are a spoiled gamer brat. You know
I'm
that?
Not.
You are.
There's nothing coming out.
Mario! Mario is coming out.
How many games is that? That's one game.
Okay, ARMS is coming out after E3.
Yeah, okay.
Splatoon 2,
you're not even that crazy about ARMS.
Splatoon, well, I could beat you in it, so that's the only thing I care about. Splatoon 2 is coming out in July.
Okay.
All right.
And you
have
now 3 games.
Mario! That's all I need.
Major system.
You know what? If you just want, I'm talking about the Switch, but if you want to talk about just Nintendo, hey, Pikmin looks awesome!
Okay, you got one game for the 3DS.
Metopia.
You have one game for the 3DS.
Metopia looks good. Stop it. Stop
it.
Look,
you're proving my point. Nintendo's got to come with a little more than just, hey, look, we have an awesome new Mario game, which will be awesome. Which will be great.
Last year they had nothing but Zelda.
Yeah, but
listen, this is what they're gonna do. E3 is gonna be like a regular, like because Mario's in the real world, right? So it's gonna be like a Mario Sunshine type setup. What E3 and it's going to be all about Mario, Metopia, Hey Pikmin, ARMS because they're going to have the ARMS challenge. Because they're trying to make this a thing. They're trying to make this into this like competitive play, which we talked about last week. I don't think it will be because of the motion controls. I know you can play this without the motion controls, but they really are trying to push this on the motion controls.
I think we'll see. I think it's gonna do well. I think the mechanics are gonna be solid. We're on 2 different sides here. You're DC, I'm Marvel on this.
No. It's the other way around. You're DC. You suck.
No.
And I'm Marvel.
You already chose your side.
I know. I chose Marvel.
You chose.
I chose Marvel.
I chose Marvel. You know what? This game isn't going to get competitive play. We'll see.
I chose Marvel. It's not going to get competitive play. You chose DC. It's going to get sucky competitive play. That's what it's going to do.
See. So there you go. They have 3 or 4 notable games that are coming out for the Switch, and you only like 2 of those, and you're definitely getting one of those.
I've definitely already pre-ordered all 3.
You did? Well, yes. All right. Well,
so I'm getting all 3. I'm getting all 3 of those.
All right. Well, anyway.
All right. So I honestly think E3 is going to be like all about Mario. Mm-hmm. Just they need it too. I think they need it. They need to just focus on Mario and whatever's coming out for the 2DS, 3DS. Mm-hmm. So. All right. Hopefully, bringing this back, Sonic, not just Sonic, Phantasy Star, all the IPs, Golden Axe, even. Well, no, Golden Axe, no. Don't bring that back. Sega can actually,
What's
focus
better than Golden Axe? I'm sorry.
You know what? Why don't you go back and play Golden Axe?
It's great, man.
Golden Axe and Altered Beast.
Yeah. And if they put out new ones of those, people would
not buy it.
Nuts over them.
People would not buy it. I got $5 says that Golden Axe wouldn't sell more than 300,000 copies.
Are you kidding me? If they put out a good Golden Axe game, not the other two not the reboot and the remake that came out all so long ago, they put out like a good new Golden Axe game.
Well, you know what game came out again?
Uh-huh.
They got released again. Pretty much Mojang.
Mm-hmm.
Mojang.
Uh-huh.
Mohang.
The creator of such classics as Minecraft.
And don't forget about this limited edition Minecraft.
Oh yes. Yeah.
That came out for the Switch,
Mm-hmm.
digital only. I'm waiting for the physical release because I'm a collector. I think that's coming out sometime in the summer. There's some glitches with this game though. Some crazy glitches.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking screenshots for no reason.
Mm.
What's going on with this game, Dave?
Yep, I don't know. There's obviously a big bug in the game. I'm going to assume that they're going to patch it right away. Essentially, just as you're playing the game, it'll take snaps, or not even when you're playing the game. I don't think either. If you have the game installed, I think it'll take snaps for you.
It will. That's weird.
It even will wake from a sleep state to take snaps for some reason. So they need to patch this game right away. And I feel like if you bought and downloaded the game already, there's probably a patch coming this week, if not a patch already.
I was gonna buy it.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you're not.
No, well, I was.
You weren't gonna buy it anyway because
I was gonna buy it. I was gonna buy it twice because I didn't want to wait to play it because I want to play something else on my Switch.
Right, because you're hurting for games.
I'm not hurting. I'm hoarding. So, but then I was like, I'll just wait. And now I'm glad I decided to wait.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame. Like, this is a Microsoft game. Are they intentionally doing this?
Oh God, no.
Because Microsoft is, intentionally doing this to the Switch.
I don't think there's any foul play going on. I think it was just some bad programming. We're not one to incite conspiracies here in Rated G.
All right, let's move on. So, NES Classic officially done, but you can get an NES sort of Classic Edition from Hyperkin. They have a Retro HD type of NES system. Now, this is nothing like NES Classic. I have no idea why YouTubers, IGN, are saying, hey, if you don't have an NES Classic Edition, you can always get this new Hyperkin.
I will tell you why.
It's nothing alike. You know why? Well, before you tell me.
Go ahead.
Because it has no games on the system. It's just a souped up and new version of an NES.
You want to know why the YouTubers are saying that?
Why?
Because the headlines get you to click. It's
clickbait.
Genius.
Clickbait.
It is 100% clickbait. This is and you're right. This is in no way, shape, or form an NES Classic because NES Classic pre-loaded with 30 games. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which you finally have.
I do.
So, it looks cool. Mm-hmm. I would recommend an AVS. Or Retron 5. Actually, no, Retron 5 would be even better because you could play five other systems on it. You could play Genesis, NES, Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, regular Famicom games,
Game Boy Advance,
Game Boy Advance games on it as well, and Game Boy Color.
Mm-hmm. So, and how much? Do you know how much this is going for right now? The new Hyperkin.
I didn't even look at the price yet. I would assume it can't go more. It can't go for more than like $100, right?
I would say anywhere from 100 to 2.
I mean, the AVS, I even got the AVS because that's actually made from like old Nintendo parts, NES parts. That's like $189.
Right,
I mean, it's
a
little
hitting that 200 mark. And
it is
like on the high end.
It is a little pricey, but I gotta say it is worth it. Because it has a Game Genie built in too.
Mm-hmm.
So you have all the cheat codes for all the games all the difficult games you want to play.
Nice.
So,
nice. So
I would recommend personally the AVS.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, what do you think? I mean, I like the design of this Retron of Hyperkin's sort of retro NES.
I think it looks nice too. I would say, well, the thing about the AVS isn't doing emulation where the Retron is doing emulation. So if you want a more accurate experience, the AVS is the way to go for that. And I think the AVS is kind of on the high end. There's also the Analog NT, which is also even more expensive. It looks on par.
Well, even with the AVS, you could play the regular NES games and regular Famicom games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the part I like. And you can pretty much save states.
Oh, very nice.
So,
very nice.
I would say I've had a lot of issues with my Retron 5. Not to say I don't like it, because I do like it. At this point, my NES part doesn't really work well. I've always had issues with the controller. The controller's always been an issue. When I first got it,
the controller for the Super Nintendo.
For the Super Nintendo, it didn't work. Then the Genesis part didn't work. And I updated, and I've talked to tech support like 50,000 times. And finally, I got everything else to work except for the NES controller. Because now the NES controller doesn't work. But that's okay, because I have AVS.
Right.
And I'll keep it at that.
So you got your bases covered.
I got my bases covered. I'm not messing with it anymore. I'm not messing with it anymore. So, all right. Let's stick with Nintendo. It's something that you brought to my attention that I didn't even see. There's a custom Super NES Switch Joy-Cons that some fan pretty much came up with, and you were all about this.
It's fantastic. It looks just like a Super Nintendo. He's got an Etsy store set up. He does all these customs and whatever else. He's got great stuff in there, but this one really grabbed my attention because you can get the custom Joy-Cons in the gray with the pink and purple buttons on there. It's on point. You can even order a full-on Joy-Con with the controller dock for a decent amount of money, which has it says Super Nintendo Switch on there or whatever in the Super Nintendo font, which is kind of nice.
Well, I was all about the GameCube one. Wasn't it a GameCube one that they had out?
I think they may have one of those too. Yeah, I know there are a lot of people have kind of mocked stuff up and whatnot, and oh, I'd love to see this. I'd love to see this. He may actually have one of those custom skins in the store, and that'd be awesome too. Getting that purple with the red and the green, and then the yellow C-stick color. Yeah,
so,
I'd be about that.
I like the GameCube one better than I gotta say. I like the NES one, the SNES one, but I think the GameCube one looks better.
Yeah,
everyone is dying for the GameCube ever to come back.
Right.
They should have actually bought one so it could have survived a little bit longer.
Right.
So,
but yeah, I mean these are awesome. They're a little bit pricey.
How much are they?
I believe these were going for $180.
What?
Just for the Joy-Cons.
What? Oh, for both Joy-Cons?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's way too much. Okay,
yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. You know what? I like my gray Joy-Cons the way they are. I don't need any custom ones.
We're gonna give a shout out to Doyle Dean. That's the guy. You can check out Doyle's Customs on Etsy if you want to see some of his work. Yeah, it looks like it's $180 for the Joy-Cons, $250 if you want the controller dock. $230 if you want the GameCube style one, which I agree does look pretty awesome.
I can do without either. I can do without either. The Joy-Cons by themselves are $80. So they're pretty pricey. I can do without them. So all right, let's keep it. So Microsoft, you're a fanboy. You love Xbox.
I like Xbox.
You love You love Xbox.
I love all game systems. I'm sorry.
You sleep in Phil Spencer jammies at night.
How did you know? How did you know that?
I know. Listen,
how did you know that I had Phil Spencer jammies?
Because I know. Well, listen. You know what? Answer me this. How many Xbox One controllers do you have?
How is that? I want to know how that's relevant.
That's what I thought.
I want to know how that's relevant.
Okay, how about this? A different question. I rephrase, Your Honor.
Oh my God.
How many Xbox One controllers do you have compared to how many PlayStation 4 controllers do you have?
How is that relevant?
That's what I thought.
How is that relevant? How is it relevant?
That's what I thought.
How is it relevant?
I just wanted to say.
All right. Anyway.
So, Phantom Dust. We thought actually was canceled at some point because they were working on a remaster. But as of right now, you can get Phantom Dust remaster for free.
They're working on a reboot, I think, of Phantom Dust.
I don't think it was a reboot. I think it was a remaster.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it was I think it was a remaster.
Okay.
And at some point, because Xbox, Phil Spencer has canceled every exclusive game.
Yeah, he's been doing some wacky stuff lately.
Go ahead.
Do you remember do you remember Phantom Dust on the Xbox, on the original Xbox from back in the day?
Barely.
Okay.
I never had it. I didn't play it.
Same.
I remember it coming out, but I didn't have it. We played a little bit of it. You just downloaded it for free. We just played a little bit of it. I told you it was really heavy in the cinematics.
It is most definitely very cinematic. I spent the first 10 minutes just watching cutscenes.
Yeah. And then you didn't know how to play the game, and then I had to direct you on how to get into the actual combat because I'm a pro. The pro had to show you.
It's not Zelda. Let me tell you, it's not that intuitive to get into it right away. So, I'm gonna give it a shot. I mean, it was free. Might as well put it through the paces a little.
No. I had to tell. I had to show you how to play the game. It was a great game. Great game. I would have been blown away by the cinematics.
Back in the day?
Back in 2002, 2003 when it came out.
I mean, they look cool for the time, trying to put myself back in that era. Sure.
So, it's free, so I would suggest pick it up now while you still can. I don't know how long it will be free. I mean,
free on both Xbox One and Windows 10.
Yes.
To say that.
And it doesn't matter if you're an Xbox Live member or not. I think it's just free for anybody.
Oh, it may be, yeah.
So, pick that up. So you know how I hate earnings calls, right?
Oh yeah. You hate earnings calls almost much as you hate people spoiling things for you.
I don't. Yeah. So that means I love it. I love people spoiling that. That means I love earnings calls. So, so we during the earnings call we found out that Ubisoft has Far Cry 5 coming out this year. The Crew 2 in development, and we already know about the new Assassin's Creed game coming out. I think there was a new logo that was shown too for Assassin's Creed. We hadn't seen any gameplay footage, but I think that was this year's Fallout. I think they wanted to announce it at E3, and it's out this year.
Oops.
But here's the issue: Far Cry 5. Do we need a Far Cry 5 right now? Far Cry 4, when did it come out? 2015?
Far Cry 4, I think, was 15, and then we had Primal in 16.
Ubisoft, we don't need a Far Cry every year.
See, now, I know we kind of discussed this for a little bit. I thought they were doing a different franchise every other year, as in we'd get Assassin's Creed one year and then maybe a Far Cry the next year, so that we'd have time between the games, right? And you'd have more than a year to kind of work on this game and fix the bugs and put out a quality non-rush product. But apparently not. Apparently that was only for Assassin's Creed, right? That they were staggering them out.
It was only Assassin's Creed, but even though we didn't get an official Assassin's Creed game last year, we did have Assassin's Creed Chronicles.
Chronicles was sure.
That they put out those 3 mini games, and they actually put out a physical copy of that, which I got for the Vita. Awesome. I just they just couldn't help themselves. They had to put out something with the name Assassin's Creed out on it. But now remember, these are publicly traded companies. So, we both watch YouTube. We both are fans of Metal Jesus, and he talked about the days at Sierra when they put out quality titles. And when they became a public traded company, they put out broken titles because they had to meet quarterly quotas.
Well, right. There's shareholders where they're beholden to, and they need to make money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line.
So, it's sort of the same thing. Ubisoft needs to make their shareholders money. Assassin's Creed is an IP that's well known and does make them money. They really didn't. They hold off on the main game, but they put out Assassin's Creed Chronicles last year, which we got, which I bought.
So and that was a solid game though, because it wasn't a full-fledged 3D title.
So, it wasn't a full-fledged 3D title. It was a side scroller.
Yeah.
2D.
I was okay with that. I mean, it was good, and it wasn't super ambitious for what it was.
How about nothing with the name Assassin's Creed for 2 years? Make the game good and then release it. So,
Agreed.
I don't know. That drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
So you're saying you're probably not going to buy Far Cry when it comes out this year?
Well, let's see what it looks like. It's I mean, the rumor is it's sort of set in the Wild West, just like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Interesting. Interesting.
So, we thought we were going back to the dinosaur age last year. Now we're going back to the Wild West this year.
That could be cool.
Well, you know what? At least Far Cry as a franchise isn't canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a certain Scalebound game. Or is it?
Uh-oh. New news.
Did you not like the segue? I thought that was a great. That was a good segue. That was a good segue. That's a good segue.
That was a good segue. I'm not saying anything against your segue.
All right. Well, you know what?
We had talked about this. I believe
Dustin from IGN has nothing on me, baby. I like Dustin too. He's a Destiny player.
So we had talked about this. I think last week or the week before, where Phil Spencer was stated that we're not about story-driven games.
I know he's not about that superiority in gaming like PC, like PC and PlayStation 4 has with story-driven games, right? Because that's what this generation is defined by,
right? Not
first-person shooters per se. First-person shooters with like crazy story-driven, elements in it,
right? I mean, he's basically saying the multiplayer is where it's at. We want to focus on multiplayer experiences, and then thus,
Well, the rumor is Scalebound was. Mostly a single player experience, but not a lot of multiplayer elements in it. And that's one of the reasons why it was canceled. But Microsoft renews the trademark for Scalebound. And the rumor is that they have another studio working on Scalebound from the ground up.
Interesting.
Well, will have another studio work on it. It's not in development as of yet. That's the rumor. That's been shot down. But if you look at the wording, Microsoft does not have another studio working on it. But the rumor is Microsoft will have another studio working on it. Not that it's in development right now. So I think Microsoft is keeping this in their back pocket because it was sort of a cool idea. We wanted to have sort of like a Monster Hunter with dragons RPG.
I mean,
it looked great. I'm not gonna say I was excited for it, but it piqued my interest.
Do you think maybe the game wasn't performing too well in the tests?
I think,
and kind of behind the scenes, or
I think the game isn't what Microsoft wanted.
Sure.
I'm not saying it was a bad game. I think Microsoft wanted more of a multiplayer experience. Because they're all about, I think that's they're looking for an identity, right? Every console, every manufacturer, they want an identity. PlayStation, they are known for their single player experience. They have the God of Wars. They have their Uncharted.
Sure.
Their deep story, The Last of Us, deep story. I think PlayStation wants to be known for their multiplayer driven games. So,
Xbox, you mean?
Well, Xbox, yes.
Right.
And I think Scalebound wasn't meeting that. Now, if Scalebound was a PS4 exclusive, I think it would have came out.
Right. I mean, it has some shades of Horizon, maybe, and whatnot, or
Horizon with dragons instead of dinosaurs.
There you go. Yeah.
So, also we heard some more Xbox news. We heard that Halo 6. Because there were some rumors that maybe Scorpio, they'll announce like a Halo game with Scorpio. No Halo news at E3 this year, 2017. No Halo 6, no Halo 3 anniversary. That will not be at E3 this year.
See, considering they did Halo Anniversary 2, I figured they would do Halo Anniversary 3 to kind of close out the trilogy.
No, because then what happens when it's time to do Halo Anniversary 4?
Well, that's like a whole new trilogy, though. And that's a whole new set. 4, 5, and 6 is kind of its own thing.
I thought 5, 6, and 7 would be its own thing.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm just a little upset. I love Master Chief a lot. So no news, because that's Microsoft's mascot now.
It is,
Master Chief.
It is, but you know what? Just like we talked about, Far Cry, and we talked about Assassin's Creed, just chill out. Master Chief needs to take a break. He
hasn't had a game in like a year and a half at least.
Well, he can wait another year and a half. Okay, when Halo 6 comes out, it would be special because we haven't heard from every single year. We don't need an anniversary edition. We already got that strategy game, that Halo Wars 2 that didn't sell.
Yeah, but that's not good. That's not good.
So you know what?
Which just goes to show, don't do RTSs on consoles, PC.
How about
the mouse and keyboard? It just ends up working better.
How about this? I do you one better. Just don't do any RTSs. Done.
Oh.
Boom.
StarCraft hater over
Boom.
here. StarCraft hater.
Boom. StarCraft. What?
StarCraft.
What? Boom.
Uh-huh.
Don't do it.
One of the best-selling games of all time.
Don't do it. All right. Last thing. A little game you've probably heard of. Destiny. Small, minor game. Destiny 2. We got actual gameplay footage. Mm-hmm. We got PC news. We got a lot of news about Destiny that came out. It looks good. Finally has a story mode. Finally.
Mm-hmm. So now it's something you'll actually play.
Yeah, I mean, I own I own Destiny 1. I own the Taken King. I didn't really play because I couldn't really get a crew together. Mm-hmm. I mean, you didn't even have Destiny. I mean, we barely played the Division. We said we were gonna get back into it, which we did, and then we dropped off on it again.
I mean, it's it's a good game, but it's not. I don't know.
Well, we just fell off.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
There also wasn't There wasn't really a lot of stuff to do.
Well, we found out a lot of stuff. So we saw the gameplay. The gameplay looks awesome. PS4 Pro, the most dominant system out there right now. Dominant console. Thank you. I know.
You're welcome, fanboy.
I'm just tell the truth, man. I'm just a truth teller. I'm just truth teller. Native 4K, locked in at 30 frames per second. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We got some bad news though. Not coming to the Switch.
Not coming to the Switch.
Well, they have no discussions, no talks about the Switch at all.
Which means, unless we hear something at E3, it's probably not.
Not coming to the Switch at all. So that's done.
Which, I mean, like, that kind of makes sense, because you need to, like, I mean, for the single-player campaign, sure. But if you want to play online, like, you can't really play online on the go.
Well, the Switch has no online functionality right now.
Well, there's also that, too, yeah.
So, I think once Nintendo announces that, which I hope is at E3, maybe there could be some discussions about the Switch, Destiny on the Switch, maybe? No?
Possibly.
No?
Possibly.
So there's no Switch plans. Destiny 2 PC version may be released later than the console version. That's no surprise. That's like usually the case. Then the PC version usually comes later.
Depending, but yeah.
And also, actually, if you wanted to buy the PC version, you have to buy it through battle.net.
Mm-hmm. This is as you just disparaged the StarCraft 2 and whatnot. This is Blizzard's online service for all their games. So this is going to be through that, which is interesting.
Yeah, and actually it will support 4K for PC. Well, I know already. Nice. And of course, PS4 Pro. They are tight-lipped with the Scorpio. They cannot announce anything for the Scorpio because I'm sure, Xbox wants to announce that at E3. That's their big thing.
Right. I'd be very surprised if they don't do 4K and possibly 60 frames a second.
Possibly.
We'll see.
Not likely. As of right now,
we don't know.
As of right now, the most powerful system in the world, PS4 Pro, locked. So it can't go lower. Locked at 30.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like they could have a variable frame rate that goes from 60 all the way down to 15, or they could lock it in at 30. So,
also, Destiny 2 won't be using dedicated servers.
Interesting.
How you feel about that?
Interesting. I mean, it's not great. Better when they do. Especially for something like this. I mean, if the code is good and it's all programmed solidly, then I guess it'll be okay. Usually when you have dedicated servers, one thing is especially on PC, if you have dedicated servers for it, usually you can't. I mean, obviously you can't host your own server. You can't. Here's my custom server that has all these cool mods in there and whatnot, and play it like you could with the old PC games and whatnot. So that's kind of cool for the PC. For console, you can never do that. You can never put mods in there and whatever and do all other stuff because it's just kind of a closed network. So that kind of hurts things a little bit. We'll see how it all shakes out.
Well, Destiny 2 being released September 8th. Mm-hmm. You said you didn't think it was coming out this September, so I think you owe me Shake Shack. We had a Shake Shack bet. I like a double shack. See. I like a double shack with fries. Thank you.
I'm not buying you anything until the game actually comes out.
You know what? You know what?
And you are going to be buying me when the game doesn't meet its launch day.
I'll take a double shack with fries.
I am not writing this order down.
I'll take a double shack with fries.
I'm not writing this order
And a milkshake. Thank you. So.
Well, that about does it. Episode 74 in the books. We want to thank you guys for listening and for being a fan. You guys can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google Plus at Rated G for Gamers. And you can always email us at ratedgforgamers@gmail.com. So please like, listen, subscribe, and
as always, keep gaming.